Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you some of my thoughts about things that got revealed to us over time, and especially in the Q&A, and how this relates to Tyranids, and or just me playing Tyranids as a Tyranids player, whatever. Uh, yeah, just overall thoughts there. So yeah, that's where we're going with. Starting with, I also don't have these in order of like when it came up in the video or importance. It's just things that I was like, yeah, I'll write that down, and then grouping. So don't place too much on the order of these. But healing overflows, from the way I understand it, is that instead of just like, oh, I've maxed out my healing on this one model and this unit, if you've also lost a model, you can then get that model back for that healing. This, you know, seems pretty nice, especially as somebody an Assimilation Swarm enjoyer. And coming to Assimilation Swarm again, Ripper Swarm's buff. Swarms, sorry, uh, can now go through walls like they should have. Because fucking why was that not fixed earlier? Why did it take us 3 years? Don't understand that one. Um, so that's pretty neato. There's also sub-ass stays, and I have a note here about aggressively wrong people. Maybe it's human nature, maybe it's the political climate, maybe it is the internet now. Just like all of these things combined about how we have kind of evolved, well, and side graded as a society, because there's been worse times, definitely, in history, about people just being cruel to one another. But I saw way too many people that were just so aggressively like, hey, why do you think Subterranean Assault would stay? Why do you think insert Grotmus detachment would stay? They said pretty clearly that Codex detachment stay. And then even past that, like, no, we're not getting like that you won't get your Codex, like just let it go. You guys are stupid, da 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 da. Nobody knows jack shit, really. We're just all using our little brains to pick up breadcrumbs that are being dropped by GW. So this is like a PSA. And again, probably the people that need to hear it won't hear this. So, doing the teacher thing where you talk to the whole class instead of the problem individuals. But let's all just like try to be chill while we're all finding out information, right? Like, we don't know. There's no reason to just be on somebody's ass about a thing that we aren't particularly aware of. Because I saw way too much of, oh no, you're stupid if you think that they're gonna let you keep your Grotmus detachment. Da 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 da. Like, we don't know. And from what I've seen so far, it's been people that have didn't even fully watch or reference what they were referencing. Sorry, fully watch or read what they were referencing, because it's like, yeah, no, they clearly said da 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 here. It's like, but if you go like an additional 2 seconds, they do say so and so. So it's like, I don't know. People are being pretty rude about that situation. So let's all just be calm. But with that, circling back to healing overflowing, think it would be pretty neat if there's a unit that can get a model back that isn't infantry in a unit. Old One Eye, and some Carnifexes. And I had a whole joke like, oh no, nobody told John Lennon that the Carnifexes are back. And then, remembering Subterranean Assault has replenishing swarms, where you can also find a way to regenerate some wounds, and Old One Eye can regenerate some wounds. If this is true, as if there's barring exceptions of like monster unit or something, I don't know, right? But from what I understand currently, should be able to bring back a Carnifex. And while I was like, no, don't tell John Lennon, realized, don't tell Ron. If Ron, if you're watching this, just turn it off. Like, nobody let him know that his Subterranean Assault list got better with the fact that, hey, the, the card effects, the old one plus card effects, maybe there's a thing that's like if you wipe the bodyguard unit, which technically, right, we have like, oh, you've wiped the bodyguard unit, so the bodyguard or yeah, the bodyguards can't come back. Maybe that's how that plays out, but if you're able to just bring back something in your unit, that'd be pretty neato. So there's a world where Ron's list got even better. Uh, Funny enough, the Subterranean Assault list that one Mastric, for those of you that are just like, what the fuck is he talking about? Who's Ron? Uh, there you go. So I think that'd be pretty cool. Then new tank shock for Crusher. Um, Crusher still feels a bit misunderstood to me. Not from me. Well, I mean, hey, you could say that I misunderstand it too. But people are like, yeah, now I can turn Crusher on easier because the new tank shock, you roll some dice based off your toughness, and every one that you take is a mortal wound for you. That's not good. that well, that it's not bad. It's not a bad thing, but the problem of Crusher is surviving. So taking any more wounds puts you further and further in danger of surviving to actually use your detachment rule. And now, um, that's not. I'm not going to say like, hey, don't use it. This is a trap. Da 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 da. No, I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying like, hey, try not to go out your way to spend all your command points on going through walls and then blowing yourself up. like, let's not waste all our command points on that because you will quickly find out that, damn, where'd my army go? What happened here? So it's nice that that's additional option, right? That is nice to have that option there. But uh, it is pretty funny. That is pretty funny. So I can see people will be trying to do that, and I would expect Crusher Stampede to get a touch up because we have massive impact. But at the same time, dealing with GW at this, well, like not. I've never been contacted by GW. I don't think I should check my email. But assuming typical GW bullshit, they might just keep it here because they're like, no, no, no. This one just means that you don't have to base it off the toughness or possibly take one mortal yourself. Just no, this is the better one. So like you can do both of them. Like duh. Like, I could see them fully doing that. So I thought that was pretty funny. And then 6 or 9 stratagems in a 2K game. They were asked like, hey, how many stratagems do you get? And this was another one where I saw people just aggressively like, no, you idiot, you gotta pick 6. Like, they wouldn't just give you all of them together. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's stupid. So it's been revealed, like, hey, in a 2K game, you'll probably have either 6 or 9. And if the math is mathing, I would assume that means that one detachment point detachments have 3 stratagems. Because that's probably like taking half of a 2 detachment pointer, right? Or if you take 3 1 DPs, sounds like you probably get 3 each, right? So, with that, uh, that's kind of neat, right? I think that's kind of neat. And coming back to Subterranean Assault for a bit, now that I've seen like the 1 detachment pointers, I think I'm less worried about Subterranean Assault being a 3 detachment pointer. I wouldn't be mad if it is, but realistically, looking at what we have, I don't think Subterranean Assault just gets broken by having a Norn that can switch its singular purpose with the anti-character 2 up. Like I don't think that's going to be broken. I don't think that making tunnels and then deep striking a neurolictor when you could already do that is going to be broken, right? Like I don't. Well, I'm sorry, not deep striking technically, but like tunneling to put a neurolictor in. That's the whole thing, right? I don't think that this is going to be broken now that I've seen the one detachment pointers. I was so worried about our like, oh, our power level, like that's clearly it was our best one. It's going to be a 3. I think now looking at the things that you can just quote unquote add to it, I think it's just like a nice little, or at least I might have some warriors with a 5 up invuln come out a hole. Cool. Like I don't think I'm nearly as worried about that. Now, not to say that they won't still do that, but I'm just less like, oh, this might take us into the stratosphere. We might be insane. I think I'm just like, oh, okay, that's fine. Then I had indirect found dead unless spotted by an ally. So, from my understanding, you need an ally to spot out who you want to hit with indirect, or you're doing it on 6s. Uh, yeah, so doesn't look like Hive Guard are going to rise again, or Biovores. That was pretty. I'm like, no, that's unfortunate. Like, especially when they said, and we're going to skip down here for a quick second. They said that datasheets mostly unchanged. I'm like, oh man, it's not great. Um, so I don't know. Not to say that I wanted Hive Guard to be busted again, like they were at one point in time, but I just was like, damn, feel like that's a bit harsh on indirect, no? But mind you, some armies were really good at it comparatively, so I understand. I understand. Which brings to another thing that some armies were really good at, not this past edition, but in previous times. Aircraft. Auto remove at end of opponent's turn, and then you do it instead of like, oh no, oopsie daisy, I touched the board edge, now I go back. Like, alright, fine. Uh, it's whatever. I had. Where'd I put them? Nope. Hive Crone and like Harpy, like, are they worth taking now? Probably not still. Like, probably not. Will I try to force it? Hey, probably. Um, Psychic ignore mods because there was something about like, oh, might ignore wound roll as well. I don't remember if that was in the Q&A video or one of the faction focuses or something like that. But if I understand correctly, might just say, hey, there's just nothing you can do against Psychic, which means that the Psychic Torrent of the Swarm Lord finally ignores cover like every other Torrent, and Torrents in general, just since they auto hit, and instead of cover applying to the save, it applies to the hits. Alright, fine. Every Torrent is auto hitting, ignore cover. But it seems like Psychic might also mean, hey, Swarm Lord's Synaptic Pulse can do a thing. Like, I mean, that's fine. That's cool. And of course, the big one for us is that Battleshock lingers. So we'll probably be doing Shadow and Warp on turns like 2 or 3 compared to holding it to see if we really need it on 4 or 5. So I think that's pretty neato. But coming through like all of these, Assimilation Swarm, looking pretty yummy. Now, will I be a Talons of the Norn Queen person or ambush predators type of guy when it comes to combining Assimilation Swarm? I don't know. Truth be told, I want to say Talons of the Norn Queen because meme. I don't know, but looks like Assimilation Swarm is back on the menu. If if not, I finally joined the dark side of going to Subterranean Assault because of literally because of replenishing swarms backslash healing. Because if you all remember from, damn, probably a year ago by now, I wanted to do double Death Star build, which is Think Tank plus Carnifex crew, Nero Tyrant and Zoe's plus Old One Eye and Carnifexes. Now, I want to take it a step further with uh triple, triple Death Star. That third one being probably hyper adapted Raveners and Raveners. And if I am getting models back like that in Assimilation Swarm, I think that could be pretty tasty. So that's a thing that I want to try. Uh, yeah, that's the thing that I'm looking to try there. But hey, if I end up wanting to move around and feel like harvesters take up too much of the list to get that thing going, maybe I join the dark side and finally go to Subterranean Assault just to move them around or what have you. Because there's also a heal in there some way somehow. But yeah, Subterranean Assault's cool. Crusher Stampede talked about Synaptic Nexus. We've talked about in the past. Because I made that whole video like, yeah, I guess I'll be on Synaptic Nexus, boyos. Um, so that was a lot. No, I'm joking. We'll see. We have to see. I still think that if Power of the Hive Mind is graciously a recipient of the upgrade tag, maybe, just maybe. So that's one thing I'm still holding out hope for. Uh, I don't know. They said they're not really changing much. And here's the other thing. Here is the other thing. I should come back to this for Battleshock Lingers. We don't know what our army rule is for sure because they haven't unveiled they haven't unveiled any detachment rule. I'm sorry, army rule from what I understand. Um, and I don't think we've had straight up confirmation that all of the army rules are staying the same. I know they've made references to them, like in Death Guard. They said, hey, you get the contagion bonus thingy. You can still do the contagion or with the afflicted, whatever the fuck it's called. I'm blanking right now. And I think they said, what was the other one that they mentioned? The army rule. Oh man, I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Who was the other one? Oh, they said corn, world eaters, blessings of corn, and there was another one that they referenced that I can't think of right now. Of course, while I'm trying to record, that they said a thing about their thing. Ah, orcs. I'm pretty sure they said something about the wall. So, you know, maybe those armies specifically are keeping their army rule the way it is. Which, like, hey, when do the orcs not have a wah? When does Death Guard, now that they figured it out, not do that? I think that'd be kind of silly to change those. So it's not guaranteed what the army rule is. Maybe we don't keep Shadow in the Warp. Maybe we don't keep Synapse, right? But I have some faith that we keep Synapse because in our Factor focus, I'm pretty sure that I remember there being a talk of +1 strength in Synapse, or maybe I'm confusing that with somebody else's reaction video to it. That could be possible too. Either way, there's no guarantee to what the army rule is. So for now, Shadow and Warp looks better. Synapse looks the same, and we look better overall than we did in 10th because of some of these changes. Like, I think while other people get better too, these are things that we just straight up needed. Like, we should have had Tank Shock the same way as everybody else the entire time. I think Demons would probably agree. Chaos Demons would probably agree there too. So, yeah, I think 11th looks cool, and I'm sorry if I had anybody on just even one person was like, wait, monsters coming to the dark side with Synaptic Nexus. Woo woo woo. Sorry, it looks like I am sticking with Assimilation Swarm at least for a bit to see if I could get a triple domain expansion Death Star situation going. But yeah, those are my thoughts about what we know from Q&A and so on and so forth for 11th edition Tyranids. If you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.